cloudy outside. It may rain. A little gloomy this weekend. It was a crazy week here on the East Coast with the tropical storm. My work schedule is all out of whack. Lots of crazy things happening in the world today, but that still doesn't change the fact that it's Saturday! You know what that means! We're live! Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms! And I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind. This is the official Lightning Flash update for Saturday, July 10th, 2021. We got a lot of material to go over, and all right, I'm already out of breath. Let's check the chat. Who we got? We got DD, Adam Carl, Alan Holland. I haven't seen you in a while, brother. How are you? We got Brad Hillborn. We got Peanuts. How you doing, Mr. Peanuts? I believe we also got, Cool King, a.k.a. RWJ, Robert Wells Jr. How are you? We got 7 likes so far. I think we could do a little bit better than that. Please hit that like button if you haven't already done so. We got a loaded Lightning Flash update, as per usual. Plenty of material to dissect. Plenty of material to go over. You guys joined the right individual here on this fine Saturday. How are you? I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you joining here. Hey, trust me, Alan, I completely get that. We've all been busy nowadays. Shit just keeps on coming at everyone from all angles, so I completely understand that. I know a lot of people should be sharing out that video. You already know the drill. Before I even say it, I haven't even gotten to the self-brand promotion and the advertisements yet. And you guys already know the drill to share out the video to get some people in here. There's Habiki TMD. How you doing? Trust me, we got a lot to talk about, and we're going to talk about Great American Bash. We're going to talk about Road Rager. We're going to talk about what happened with Mr. Jimmy Uso. We're going to talk about what's going on with Tommy End and why he was able to show up on AEW. We're going to talk about John Cena and the potential that he could miss SummerSlam 2021, but that report actually got debunked, so we're going to dissect that. But first things first, before we get into what we got to talk about, as per usual, if you don't already follow me on the Twitter sticks, please make sure you follow me there at HistoryMakerDJS. You'll find out why I am the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. Follow me on Instagram as well at the DJ Storms. Add me on Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. All of those links are in the description. If you don't already know, now you know. I want to send out a special thank you to Leo and Wanston from House of X Entertainment. I believe we'll probably see them a little bit later on. They had me on for an exclusive live stream interview last night, actually, before SmackDown at around 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I was on their channel. I talked about my journey here on YouTube, how I got started, my personal life, the personal illness that I've dealt with, my professional goals, my personal goals, and it was a very, very good experience. I was very, very happy to go out of my way and spend some time with them, talking about how this all came to be and what I'm all about and what I plan on doing in the future. Both of them are fantastic. They're very good content creators in their own right. They're almost at 600 subscribers on the House of X Entertainment channel, so please make sure, if you haven't already done so, please check that out. It's in the description. And leave a like, leave a comment, and hit the subscribe button for House of X Entertainment, and turn on the bell for all notifications. That link's in the description if you want to check it out after the stream is over. We are about 6 minutes into the stream. If you haven't liked the stream, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, because we got goals we want to reach here. We want to get as many likes as possible, all right? If you're here and you're stopping by, please make sure you hit the like button. If you got multiple YouTube channels, please make sure you go on all different types of YouTube channels and hit that like button. We got to get a lot of people in here as well. But in order for us to do that, you are going to have to do me a favor. You're going to have to do me a favor and share the stream out. Share it out on all platforms, social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Pinterest. I see David Maniscalco has already shared out the stream. I would assume David Maniscalco is here. Thank you for stopping by, David Maniscalco. Thank you for sharing out the stream. All social media platforms need to make sure that you got the DJ Storms Lightning Flash Update stream on the platform. Everyone's got to have it. That way we can get as many people in here as possible. I'm talking about your dogs, your cats, especially your guinea pigs. I know that Danielle was waiting for the guinea pigs. I just went straight for the guinea pigs. You already know the drill. I got so many articles lodged in my laptop, making them run slow, that says if guinea pigs get a dose of DJ Storms, they are set to live long, happy, healthy, fruitful lives. You already know the drill, people. Get as many people in here as possible. Share it out on all platforms of social media. Hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube. I mean, it's the only time you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination. This beautiful mustache right here. Earl Cole just entered the chat, so he knows what's coming next. You already know what's coming next. A little and a little with a little dash of Everybody wants a piece of the Storms, my people. Oh, and Habiki, you're welcome for the question, by the way. I'm glad that I was able to give you guys a hard-hitting question that you can go in-depth on. Please go check out the interview that I had with House of X Entertainment after the stream's over. The link's in the description. It was a nice break from what I usually do here and how I usually rant and rave about wrestling. It was a very nice break for me. Speaking of House of X Entertainment, Leo just came into the building. How you doing, Leo? Please make sure you hit that thumbs up. Earl Cole, be sure to hit the thumbs up. We got 11 likes so far. I like it. I think we can do some more. I think we could do some more, though. So, enough self-brand promotion and advertisements. I'm going to check the chat after I'm done with the news, rumors, and reports. We're going to get straight into them. So we're going to start off with a report from Mike Johnson. And apparently, according to PW Insider's Mike Johnson, Vince McMahon is reportedly a huge fan of the pairing of Eva Marie and Piper Niven. Mike Johnson stated, and I quote, "We're going to see a lot of Eva Marie and Doudrop because Vince apparently loves the end goal. I was told he's super impressed with Piper Niven so far," end quote. So, what do we learn from this, people? We learned that Vince McMahon has a sick sense of humor. Vince McMahon is a disgusting individual. And whether or not he's a fan of Piper Niven or not, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. The only reason why he would be a fan of Piper Niven is because Piper Niven is going along with anything that Vince McMahon tells him to go along with. So whether or not the end goal is reached, I do assume that the end goal will be reached. The end goal will be reached, but at the end of the fucking day, do you have any faith in Vince McMahon to push Piper Niven after the fact that she was broken away from Eva Marie? I sure as hell don't. Matter of fact, I expect Piper Niven to end up like Nikki Cross. She'll be given an embarrassing fucking gimmick because she can't get any TV time, so she'll pitch an embarrassing fucking gimmick just so Vince McMahon will fucking put her on TV. Vince McMahon is a sick fucking individual. Oh, trust me, Hibiki, I'm going to talk about that. Trust me on that. We got, Baylist Radio. How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for hitting that like button. We got 12 people watching so far. Be sure to share the stream out. Share the stream out on all platforms, social media, and hit that like button. Share the stream out, hit the like button. We are at 13 likes. We're going to try and get to 30. We're going to move on with the news, rumors, and reports. So apparently Mike Johnson reported Vince McMahon's a big fan of Piper Niven and Eva Marie. Go figure. If it sucks, Vince McMahon likes it. My next report. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Bryan Alvarez quipped that Jay and Jimmy Uso swapped spots in the Roman storyline because they've gone as far as they can go with Jay. And Alvarez stated, and I quote, they went as far as they could go with Jay Uso, but they have to do the same show every week, so now they're doing it with his twin. So for those wondering why Jay Uso was out for a few weeks, it was simply because of the fact that they wanted to give Jimmy a shine. And obviously that kind of blew up in their face, which we'll talk about later on. Based on the thumbnail, you know that I'm going to dive in depth on what happened on Monday evening. I got some news on Tommy End, a.k.a. Malachi Black. Tommy End, a.k.a. Malachi Black, made his debut at All Elite Wrestling's Road Rager this past Wednesday. Many people wondered what his contract status was like after his WWE release. Dave Meltzer reported that Malachi Black was given a 30-day non-compete clause because when he got called up from NXT, they did not update his contract to the standard main roster contract, which obviously gave him a 90-day non-compete clause, because the NXT competitors, they have 30-day non-compete clauses, so they never modified his contract. Therefore, that allowed Tony Khan to negotiate contractual terms with Malachi Black, and that allowed him to appear at the Road Rager event. And apparently, I also heard that AEW picked up Malachi Black. WWE actually called Buddy Murphy in a panic. They called Buddy Murphy in a panic after what happened to make sure that his contract was at a 90-day non-compete clause. How fucking pathetic is that? WWE pretty much shot themselves in the foot. Well, they shot themselves in the foot for not using Aleister Black, Tommy End, whatever you want to call him, properly. But at the end of the fucking day, they really shot themselves in the foot after what just happened here. So for those of you wondering, it was a 30-day non-compete clause for Malachi Black, which allowed him to appear at the Road Rager event. I got a report from Fightful Select, and they heard that there are big plans in store for one Roderick Strong, who made his return to NXT not too long ago as a member of the new faction known as Diamond Mind. The report from Fightful read, and I quote, "We've been told Roderick Strong's figures big into NXT's 2021 plans, especially their efforts to add marquee value to the Cruiserweight title." So we could definitely be seeing Mr. Roderick Strong take that title off of Kushida, which I would not mind whatsoever. I think that is a brilliant move. Roderick Strong would absolutely thrive in that role, and I like to hope that now that Roderick Strong is in a Diamond Mine faction, I do believe that hopefully when he gets called up to the main roster, hopefully not anytime soon, but maybe in the next year or two, after Roderick Strong gets called up to the main roster, I'd like to hope that with this faction, they will actually book him somewhat decently. At this rate, Matt Riddle is probably the best example. He's just being booked decently. He's just getting by week as an adequate act on the main roster. So I'd like to hope that Roderick Strong would be booked somewhat like Matt Riddle, somewhat decently in this Diamond Mine faction once he gets called up to the main roster. Will that happen? Probably not. Moving on to another report from Variety.com. They reported that John Cena is apparently a part of Matthew Vaughn's new film franchise, RGL. Not really too keen on the name. I'm kind of bad with names, but it's spelled ARGYLLE. RGL. And the shooting supposedly begins next month in Europe. And the concerns of him missing SummerSlam have arisen. Now, for those of you who are not aware of what's been going on, there's been reports going around for the last few months that John Cena is reportedly in the works to fight Roman Reigns for the Universal title at SummerSlam because they want a big marquee match for the Las Vegas event. Now, though the concerns of him missing SummerSlam arose, Fightful, however, recently reported that John Cena is apparently, quote-unquote, locked in for SummerSlam, and that conflicted and debunked the previous report for Variety.com. I would assume that WWE knows what they're doing, and they're not just going to put Roman Reigns on SummerSlam without a big match. I do believe that John Cena is going to be at SummerSlam for his match with Roman, and then he'll just go back to doing what he usually does, filming movies and shit like that. But if John Cena doesn't show up, the best possible route to go is with the fact that Rollins is more likely than not going to cost Edge the match at Money in the Bank, because Rollins is not winning Money in the Bank. So Rollins would then cost Edge his match against Roman. That would then open up the door for Edge and Rollins to face off one-on-one. What do you do with Roman now? Well, if you can't get Cena, then the best possible route would be to do a triple threat match with Edge, Rollins, and Roman Reigns. But then again, I don't think that would be a good decision because people are going to realize, hey, didn't you just do this for WrestleMania? Why are you doing this again for SummerSlam? But that's only if you can't get Cena. But I do believe that Cena will be at the biggest party, or the blandest party of the summer. Let's get to the big news story. Let's get to the big news story before we move on to the weekly show reviews. Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso was recently arrested again for another DUI. He ran a red light while drunk driving 50 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour lane. The breath test showed a 0.205 rating, which is nearly 3 times the usual rate of 0.08. This is his 4th DUI within 11 years with the WWE. WrestleVotes recently just tweeted out an update on WWE management's reaction to Jimmy Uso's arrest. The tweet read, and I quote, "I've spoken to 2 sources this morning on the Jimmy Uso news. I can say with certainty that a few higher-level people in power are extremely disappointed and legitimately pissed off over the arrest. This many times isn't a mistake or bad luck. It's personal judgment. Not good." End quote. Now, obviously, we saw him on SmackDown. Yesterday, and obviously that did not, it didn't really have an effect on what happened. The DUI didn't really have an effect on what's going on. They're still continuing with him, which is in insanely bad taste, and it's very, very, very tone deaf of WWE to just go along and not give this guy help whatsoever. But here's what I will say. Now, alcoholism is a disease. Alcoholism, we've seen hundreds of thousands of cases over the years in which alcoholism has destroyed livelihoods, relationships, and various amounts of life opportunities that people had and they lost because of their alcoholism. Alcoholism is something that plagues our society. It's very, very common. More common than it really should be. I feel bad for the guy. I really do feel bad for the guy. I do feel bad for the guy in some regard, because I don't know what's going on up here. I know that a lot of people suffer with anxiety, a lot of people suffer with depression, a lot of people suffer with the pressures of dealing with major periods of their life, whether it be as a wrestler, as a football player, as a baseball player, whether it be a guy or a chick getting married, whether it be having kids, whether it be getting a new job. It's a coping mechanism. It's a coping mechanism, and it runs in a lot of families, and it destroys a lot. It destroys a lot of livelihoods. One time I get it. 1 or 2 times, yeah, we'll let it slide. But 3 or 4 times, and especially, I know this for a fact, I don't need to be involved in Jimmy Uso's life to know what's going on. I know for a fact that his family have already stepped in. They stepped in after the second time. Who knows, they maybe have stepped in after the first time. But they stepped in. I know for a fact they stepped in already. And it didn't help. Nothing that the family did help. So, now what? WWE has no choice but to step in. You can't just let one of your top stars in the company, who's a part of a rich family history, regardless of that, you can't just let this keep on sliding. It's going to ultimately come down to whether or not he fatally injures someone else and or himself. Why does it have to get to that? It's not too late to help the guy. If his family couldn't help him, now you need to help him. It is your fucking job as a company to take care of what is one of your most valuable assets. And I fucking hate the fact that this company just treats their employees, just treats the wrestlers as if they're just money-making props. These are legitimate people with feelings and fears and legit life problems. Problems that could affect their job, their health, their life, and the lives of the other people around them. You can't just let this shit keep on sliding. You can't. You cannot let this shit keep on sliding. You need to do either one of 3 things. There's only 3 ways to go about it. You can either let it slide again and hope it doesn't happen. You can either threaten him with suspension without pay or termination until he goes to rehab, or you could just flat out terminate him. And they're not going to flat out terminate him. So you only have 2 options. And it seems like they're going with the first option. You can't fucking do this. You can't fucking do this. You can't. The guy needs help. The guy is pretty much crying out for help. You need to threaten him with his job. Threaten him to either go to rehab or you're going to be suspended without pay until you go to rehab, or just flat out terminate him until he gets rehab. Plain and simple. This cannot keep on continuing. You can't just let this slide over and over and over again, because if he gets into some serious shit, he was lucky he didn't run over anyone the first 4 times. And hell, we don't even know how many times he's actually done it. He got caught 4 times. He could have done this dozens of other times. It's not very hard to call an Uber, but the fact that he keeps on doing this shit, it shows you that he needs help. It shows you that he needs help, and it shows you that shit's not going to get done on its own. You can't keep on just letting this shit slide. Threaten him with suspension or termination until he gets rehab. If he doesn't want to get rehab, then you're going to have to talk to his family. You're going to have to bring his family into the office, talk to his family, and you can have him sit down with management and his family at the same time. Shit needs to get done. The fact that they just put him back on SmackDown and acted like nothing ever happened, it's just in poor fucking taste. It's in poor fucking taste. I don't know what the fuck's going on in his personal life, and I do feel bad for him, but at the same point in time, 4 times, I'm sorry. No more excuses. The guy needs help. If he can't do it and his family can't do it, then the company needs to do it. And the fact that they're not absolutely pisses me off. The fact that they're not, and the fact that they just let this slide, I'm telling you, more and more, the years go by, WWE is starting to care less and less, and they're turning more and more people away. If he ends up getting behind the wheel again, and he ends up taking someone's life, or worse, his own, I'm telling you right now, shit is not, and I mean it is not, going to work out well for WWE or the Anoa'i family. Step in. Give the guy the help that he needs. You can't let it slide anymore. Those are the news, rumors, and reports. We got 18 likes so far. Thank you very much for sticking by me, everyone. You guys are great. David Maniscalco, thank you for coming on in. Abiki, thank you for sticking by. I'm assuming you're probably working. Yeah, Rosa Mendez was also fired for alcoholism as well. She got her shit together. No reason why Jimmy Uso can't get his shit together. I'm sorry, but at what point is enough enough? Blessed Radio, WWE are completely tone deaf. The WWE doesn't give a shit about their employees. They don't care. If WWE was truthfully helping, then, shit would have changed already. Hula Grim just entered the chat. You actually missed my rant about Jimmy Uso. So, but I thank you for joining, though. You're fantastic. Hula Grim is great. I'm happy to have him as a mod. We got 19 likes so far. I like that. 19 likes so far, and we are only 30 minutes into the stream. And we're about to go over Monday Night Raw. Thank you guys for stopping by. We got plenty more shit to go over, and we are going to go over Monday Night Raw next. Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw. I don't want to do. I really just don't want to talk about it. I don't want to do it. I can't do it. Buddy Murphy. He recently just came out on a Twitch stream, I believe, and he said that he used to watch Wrestle Talk to keep up with Raw because he couldn't watch it. Let me tell you something. I don't blame Buddy Murphy one bit. I don't blame the guy one bit. Raw started off with Miz TV. Miz and Morrison were in the ring. We had Morrison with the water references, Johnny Drip Drip, America's Moist Wanted, all this fucking stupid ass shit. Oh, by the way, Raw actually got a 1.47, their second lowest rating ever. Fantastic. I love it. I love it when the WWE fail, because it just shoves it right in their face that their product sucks. So Drew came out after Miz introduced him. He said, "I haven't stopped fighting my way back to the title, and I won't stop until I win." Drew said, "I'm actually a descendant of Davy Crockett." I don't understand how that's going to help him get over, but apparently Drew's a descendant of Davy fucking Crockett. He says, "I plan to create a legendary moment. Miz will be telling the story about how Morrison got shoved up Miz's ass. Ricochet then came out. They replayed what Ricochet did to Morrison last week. He promised to use Miz's wheelchair as a battering ram. He spelt out his name before Matt Riddle came out. He sat up on the ladder, and Matt Riddle goes, 'Isn't this what everyone is supposed to do? I'm really high.'" If you get where Matt Riddle was coming from there. He goes, "I'm really high, and I'll dedicate my victory to Randy Orton wherever he is." As if Randy Orton is fucking deceased. But Matt Riddle was actually quite entertaining here. So Styles and Omos came out. Styles says that he was robbed of his opportunity to be in Money in the Bank, and it should have been Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles one-on-one, but no, we had to have a triple threat match where I wasn't pinned. Styles, you lost. Get to the fucking back of the line. Maybe if you weren't hanging around the black version of the Great Khali, and you weren't stuck in a worthless Raw Tag Team title division, maybe, just maybe, you would be in Money in the Bank. Omos, he then tipped over the ladder. Riddle landed on his bad foot, so he was selling that. AJ then kicked Riddle's bad foot. Ricochet then took out Morrison, and Drew took out Omos. Ricochet then took a dripstick out of Miz's wheelchair and snapped it. And we get another Ricochet versus John Morrison match. How many fucking times have we seen a segment like this? Segments like this are just so fucking overdone. How many fucking years in a row have we seen a segment in which all of the Money in the Bank ladder match participants are in the same ring and they're talking about why they're going to win? How many times have we seen that? It's just about as overdone as the big locker room brawl before the Royal Rumble. You can't fucking be creative instead of doing a lame, recycled, very generic promo sit-down segment with all of the fucking members in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Do something fucking different. Do something different. Please. So we get Ricochet versus John Morrison. This was a very good match for what it was. And we got a non-finish just to lead into another match. So WWE was like, oh, how can we do rematches without having someone lose just to do 50-50 booking? Oh, I know. We could do count-out victories or double count-outs. That way it's a non-finish. So now, next week, after Ricochet and Morrison competed this week, where Morrison won via count-out, now it's going to be next week where we're going to see Ricochet and John Morrison, and it's going to be a false count anywhere match. So there has to be a winner. But the match was very good. Morrison with a nice neck breaker for a 2 on the outside. Ricochet then with a front flip off of Miz's wheelchair. Morrison then caught him and powerbombed him into the barricade. Coming back from commercial, Ricochet came back with a knee drop facebuster. Morrison with a standing Spanish fly for a 2 count. Ricochet hit a satellite DDT and a big lariat for a 2. Morrison with a quick roll up for a 2. Ricochet then dove over the top onto Morrison. Both men crashed to the floor. Absolutely fucking brutal. Miz then tried to block Ricochet from getting back into the ring with his wheelchair, and Morrison won via countout. And next week we get Ricochet and Morrison in another rematch. This time it's a Falls Count Anywhere match, so there has to be a winner. We got an woman tag, we had Asuka, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Alexa Piss, and Nikki Cross. But she's going by Nikki Ash, almost a superhero. Nikki Ash now. Nikki Ash, more like Nikki Trash. Nikki Trash is her new name. So Nikki Trash, she cut a promo with Asuka and Naomi before the show. And I didn't even write down what she said. I did not even fucking write down what she said. I was just completely lost in my phone. I didn't give a shit what she said. I didn't give a shit what she meant. I did not give a shit about Nikki Trash. It's so fucking bad. I don't even have enough words in the English dictionary to describe it. And some people are actually defending this shit. This is, without a doubt, one of the worst gimmicks that I think I've ever seen for a WWE women's wrestler in the modern era. It is absolutely horrendous. I legitimately do not have enough... Forget about the English language. There is not enough human words to describe how fucking bad it is. And the only reason why Nikki Cross pitched this gimmick to Vince McMahon is, I'm going to say it again, the only reason why is because that's it. That's all that Vince McMahon is going to push her as. She needed a character that was wacky and outlandish. Vince wanted characters, and Nick Khan, he's a big fan of Marvel and DC, thus you get Nikki Trash. Her career is fucking dead. It is a fucking embarrassment. So Nikki Trash, Asuka, Naomi, and Alexa Piss, they took on Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Eva Marie, and Piper, I shall not call her Dewdrop, Niven. This was absolutely one of the worst matches of the fucking year. I don't think I've ever seen a match this bad. This match was Roman Reigns, Jinder Mahal levels bad. This match was Jinder Mahal, Randy Orton, Punjabi prison match bad. Which, by the way, I was actually live in attendance at Battleground for that match. No fucking joke, I was. Eva Marie, I swear to God, she couldn't even do a simple collar and elbow tie-up correctly. It was absolutely fucking atrocious to watch. I had my head in my fucking hand. She avoided taking a bump at every single twist and turn. She did not take one single fucking bump in this match. She then got scared by Alexa Bliss screaming at her, and then she acted like she took a fucking bump, laying out on the floor on the outside. This woman is an absolute fucking embarrassment of a women's wrestler. This woman is a piss-poor excuse of a women's wrestler of epic proportions. I take Nikki Bella over Eva Marie any day of the week. And Nikki Bella's fucking cancer in her own right. But I take her any day of the week over Eva Marie. This was sloppy, botchy, completely fucking uncoordinated. This was a fucking disaster. A fucking disaster. It was if I was to describe this, the tropical storm that we had here on the East Coast in Jersey on Thursday, that was pretty much a direct representation of what we saw here. It was absolute bedlam. A fucking disaster. Nia Jax hit Nikki Cross, or Nikki Trash, Nikki Ash, Nikki Trash, Nikki Brash, Nikki Kiss My Ass, whatever the hell you want to call her. Nikki Trash got hit with a Samoan drop, and Nia Jax gets the win. Afterwards, Eva Marie then announced herself as the winner. This makes me want to see the women's division completely fucking abolished in the WWE. And I'm a big advocate for some of the women there. women like Naomi, Asuka, and Rhea, and Bianca, and Sasha, Shotzi, and Tegan. Mansoor versus Mustafa Ali. You know, these guys were actually one of the more bearable parts of Monday Night Raw. They were one of the more bearable parts of Monday Night Raw, and all they get is 4 fucking minutes. And yet you wonder why nobody gives a shit about anybody on the show. Mustafa Ali wins in 4 minutes. He got tangled up in the ropes by his leg. Mansoor actually helped him out. Ali took advantage, and he rolled up Mansoor for the win. 4 fucking minutes, and you wonder why no one gives a shit about anyone on this show. Mustafa Ali gets the win. Does it mean anything? No. He's going nowhere. We got Jinder Mahal. I'm pretty sure I just scared away half my fucking audience. Jinder Mahal, Jiggle My Balls, versus Loch Ness Monster Drew McIntyre. He was telling a fucking story about how the tip of his sword was made from the tooth of the Loch Ness Monster. Yeah. Tip of his sword. The tip of his sword was made from the tooth of the Loch Ness Monster. And let me tell you something. Bruce Pritchard, he loves the tip of Vince McMahon's sword. Wink, wink, if you know what I mean. Bruce Pritchard, he loves the tip of Vince McMahon's sword. Mahal with a suplex to Drew McIntyre on the announce table. Coming back from commercial, Drew mounted a comeback. We had Veer and Shanky attacking Drew, causing a DQ. They all attacked Drew. Jinder Mahal delivered a Kolass. And then Jinder stole Drew McIntyre's sword. Who apparently, if you didn't know, was made from a tooth of the Loch Ness Monster. Drew McIntyre should not be winning Money in the Bank. To be quite honest, I don't expect him to win Money in the Bank, but I'm telling you right now, if Drew McIntyre's program after SummerSlam, is a feud with Mahal, I'm telling you right now, fans are going to absolutely rip this shit to shreds. People are going to rip this shit to shreds, just like they did Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal at Money in the Bank of 2018. That's how bad this has become. They have absolutely ruined Drew McIntyre if I've ever fucking seen it. They have rendered this guy a shell of his former self. Meanwhile, you had 2 chances to fix him, and you had 2 chances to actually book him correctly as the WWE Champion, and then you didn't. You fucked him up twice. Drew McIntyre been fucked up again. I haven't seen these 2 fuckers in a while. Mace and T-Bar. Disgrace and T-Balls. They took on the Lucha House Party. Lince Dorado rolled up T-Balls for the win in about 3 minutes. So we got T-Balls and Disgrace walking around like the Great Value version of the Ascension, and they lose to the Lucha House Party in 3 minutes. Phenomenal job you're doing, Mr. Pritchard. Phenomenal job you're doing, White Castle Pritchard. Matt Riddle and AJ Styles. This was a decent match. Decent match for what it was. Matt Riddle, he did what he could despite his injured foot. Almost chop blocked the injured foot of Riddle behind the referee's back. Coming back from commercial, Riddle came back with a Broton for a 2. Riddle with a draping DDT. Riddle missed the floating bro. He landed on his injured foot. Styles with a burning hammer. Beautiful burning hammer for a 2. The Viking Raiders came out of nowhere. They distracted Omos. And Riddle rolled up Styles for the 1-2-3. Listen, I'm happy that Riddle's been getting some shine. I'm happy that Riddle's been booked semi-decently. I expect him to win the tag team titles with Randy Orton. I'm happy that he's in Money in the Bank, but I swear to God, the booking on this show just pisses me the fuck off. The booking on this show pisses me the fuck off. AJ Styles, and I hate to fucking say this, AJ Styles has become a glorified enhancement talent. I can't remember the last time AJ Styles won a singles match on his own without the help of Omos. Can't remember. AJ Styles has become a shell of his former self. He has not felt like AJ Styles ever since he came over to Monday Night Raw. I swear to God, if I was booking this, Styles and Omos would drop the titles to the Viking Raiders. Viking Raiders would face RK Bro at SummerSlam. I would have Styles fucking kick Omos to the curb, and I would have Styles get back to being AJ Styles and be in a singles capacity. But no. Styles is pretty much the male version of Shayna Baszler. Nothing but losses. I don't even want to talk about what happened next. Charlotte Flair. Now, for those of you who are new here, we live by a little code here on the channel. We live by a code here, and that code Fuck Charlotte Flair! Fuck Charlotte Flair. And all of her supporters. Fuck Charlotte Flair. I see everyone knows. Everyone knows. I see a lot of FCFs in the chat. You know. So, this blonde bitch came out. She had a crutch. She goes, "It's shocking to see me like this, I know. NBA is in shambles after all the injuries, but I might miss Money in the Bank." No, you see, that is a blessing, Miss Flair. That's a blessing. So Rhea came out with a crutch, horribly fucking selling, mocking Charlotte. She took the mic and she says, "You're right. I did exactly what you would have done, which is exactly what I'm doing now. You're being a little drama queen." Then they both kicked the crutches out from under them. They swung the crutches like fucking swords, as if they were Drew McIntyre. As if they were fucking Drew McIntyre with the Loch Ness Monster tooth. Swinging the crutches like fucking swords. Rhea Ripley then broke the crutch over Charlotte, and Rhea Ripley stood tall. This absolutely has to be in top contention for the worst feud of the fucking year, right behind Randy Orton and The Fiend. This is absolutely fucking terrible. I'm getting sick and fucking tired of this shit. I don't know how much more I can take. I can only hope that this shit's over after Money in the Bank, which I really don't expect it to be. Why? Because Charlotte, she can't go a single fucking pay-per-view without a fucking title match. Jackson Ryker and R-Truth versus Elias and Cedric Alexander. Tozawa came running out with the 24/7 title. R-Truth ran off, and it was a handicap match. Elias didn't even tag in. Elias walked away. Ryker defeated Cedric with the Black Hole Slam. Man, I wish that people were actually being pushed like Jackson Ryker. I'm not sure what Jackson Ryker did, but man, he's actually been winning a lot of matches as of lately. which is actually quite shocking. Jackson Riker, listen, he was only good for one role. Outside of the Forgotten Sons faction, Jackson Riker, he's not going anywhere. The guy is about as bland as fucking Steve Blackman. It's a waste of time. Cedric Alexander, I would fucking walk. Just walk, dude. Just fucking walk. Go to Impact, go to AEW, go to MLW, somewhere, anywhere but here. Riker gets the win with a black hole slam in 2 minutes. Here's a shock. They actually announced the card for next week. Wow! Wow! You gotta get a nice little clap right there. Bruce Pritchard, he's actually booking for next week. So next week we got John Morrison and Ricochet in a Falls Count Anywhere match. That should be good. We got Humberto Carrillo versus Sheamus for the U.S. title. First time that Sheamus is actually fucking defending that title. We got Omos versus Eric and AJ Styles versus Ivar next week. And then in 2 weeks we got Styles and Omos versus the Viking Raiders for the Raw Tag Team titles. Main event, MVP and Bobby Lashley versus the New Day. I did not take any notes on this. All that I know is that Kofi Kingston, he won with a Trouble in Paradise to MVP for the win. And that was pretty much that. Kofi Kingston's not winning the WWE title. That was Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw sucked, and I feel like I aged 20 years already just by watching Monday Night Raw on Monday. I hope they sink lower than 1 million within the next 5 months. Between Bobby Ashley, between Jiggle My Balls, between Nikki Trash and Alexa Piss, Nia Flapjacks, I'm telling you, I hope this show gets fucking canceled. Let's check the chat. The chat's rocking, actually. The chat is fucking rocking. I'm telling you. We got 22 likes. We got Dave Maniscalco. We got Earl Cole. Courtney Holland, how are you? You are fantastic. Dylan Summers, how you doing? Raw absolutely sucked. Dee Dee's still here. Bayless Radio, he's still here. How you doing? Hula Grim is still here. Hula Grim is fantastic at what he does. How you doing, Brad Hilborn? Thank you for pointing out the obvious. Trust me, WWE has bad fucking writing. Fuck Charlotte Flair, by the way. I see a lot of fuck Charlotte Flairs in the chat. Habicki says, FCF was my band's name when I was in my 20s. 50 cents flat. Man, you should come over here. Jam with Thunder. You can have one last hurrah with Thunder. We got Nathan Curse. How you doing? How you doing, Mr. Nathan Curse? Please make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already done so. We got 23 likes. The chat is fucking booming. Please share out the stream on all platforms of social media. Get as many people in here as possible. Hey, Hula Grim, where's Raging Girl Gamer? Where's Raging Girl Gamer? I thought that she would have been here by now. Raging Girl Gamer, she's awesome she's awesome in her own right. I don't know why she hasn't stopped by the channel yet. But we got plenty more to talk about. We got 4 more shows to talk about. We're actually going to talk about NXT next. And NXT, the Great American Bash, this was actually a phenomenal show. This show was actually phenomenal. I see a Bicky saying, Charlotte Flair looks like an old leather wallet. Yeah, I don't know. Why doesn't she watch me? Is she too good for Mr. Controversy? Is she too good for DJ Storms? I gotta have a long talk with this chick. I have to have a long talk with this chick. She's probably at work. Yeah, you're right. I forget, you know, a lot of people have lives. I forgot about that. Courtney Holland, she's here for Index. So we're going to talk about NXT, the Great American Bash. The Great American Bash was actually a phenomenal show. a great show. I would have to say that this was probably their best show since NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day back in February. NXT kind of fell off the tracks. It kind of fell off the tracks a bit, but I've been seeing Triple H is trying to get NXT back to where it once was, which I'm very, very happy about. And I'd like to see what happens down the line, but with the recent NXT purges, man, I don't know. But the Great American Bash was a fantastic show. Probably the best show of the week was the Great American Bash. The set looked fantastic. It gave off WrestleMania 29 vibes. The set looked great. So, MSK versus Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher for the NXT Tag Team Championships. This started off the show. This was an excellent tag team match. Excellent tag team match. Oh, I saw you, Cool King. Trust me. You know, I actually do need a guest. I need a guest for the rundown for Money in the Bank. I don't know, Cool King. We'll have to have a discussion later on. You up for venturing into the storm? Maybe you can join me for my 4-year anniversary, actually, because my 4-year anniversary is actually July 16th. That's the rundown for Money in the Bank. So if you're thinking about it, I don't know, I can have you on the channel, boy. So MSK took on Ciampa and Thatcher. This was for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Ciampa and Thatcher were in control early. Ciampa wore down Wesley before Nash Carter came in with some swift kicks. Thatcher sacrificed himself and took a moonsault before Ciampa regained control. Coming back from commercial, Ciampa and Thatcher isolated Wesley. He got the tag to Nash Carter. They hit an assisted moonsault for a 2. Carter then fought off Ciampa and Thatcher, but Ciampa shut him down. We had a big jumping knee. We had a tag to Wesley. We had a 619 around the post to Thatcher. Ciampa then with a kick to Lee in midair. We had Project Ciampa and Wesley just barely kicked out of Project Ciampa. Ciampa tagged out before Thatcher got rocked. Ciampa tagged back in. Ciampa got lit up. He caught a swanton bomb from Carter and a spiral tap by Wesley. Thatcher just yanked out Wesley. Carter then was taken out before we had a fairy tale ending and an ankle lock. Carter saved it. Wesley with a small package on Thatcher, and MSK just barely retained the titles. MSK just barely retained the titles. MSK, they were the right winners here. They were getting booed. It really wasn't that big of a deal because no one's going to boo Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa is pretty much a god to the people down in Full Sail. But MSK, they were not losing the titles, nor should they have lost the titles. Those titles are going to the Grizzled Young Veterans. Those titles will be going to the Grizzled Young Veterans come the next TakeOver, and that is going to be when MSK drop the titles to Grizzled Young Veterans, and the Grizzled Young Veterans are going to hold those titles for a good while. The Grizzled Young Veterans are going to be a very, 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 very nice heel tag team for the tag team titles going into the fall of 2021. But this was an excellent tag team match. Ciampa and Thatcher, they work very, very well together. MSK is great in their own right. MSK retained the titles, right outcome. And we are looking at MSK Grizzled Young Veterans Part 2 come NXT TakeOver. The charging battery was at 91%. We were building towards the return of a certain someone. After the charging battery segment, we had Samoa Joe and William Regal in the ring. William Regal said, "We've seen how Johnny Gargano has antagonized Karrion Kross. I demand Gargano and Kross come out to the ring." So Gargano came out, Kross came out. Regal said, "Things between the two of you need to be settled." Gargano said, "You suck," right in the face of Karrion Kross. He said, "I've been living rent-free in your head like a king, and there's a lot of room up there. You're terrified to get in the ring with me because I'll expose you." Regal made the NXT Championship match for next week, and he actually appointed Samoa Joe as the special guest referee. Kross then goes, "You think that I'm afraid of you? You think that I'm afraid of you?" You know, the same three things are on my mind every single day I wake up. Never lose the NXT title, main event WrestleMania, and become WWE Champion. People like you get the living daylights beat out of you by people like me. So Gargano, he says, Kross actually mentioned that Gargano came out wearing his wife's skinny jeans, his wife's pants. Gargano then said, "It's funny you mentioned my wife's pants because you couldn't lace my wife's boots." Kross says, "Why wait till next week?" Joe then stepped right in front of Kross, and that's how the segment ended. This was a very nice stare down. This was a very, very, very good segment. And I don't know what happens next week, if I'm going to be quite honest. I don't know. Honest to God, I do not know what happens next week. I'm not sure if we're going to see a new NXT champion. I'm not sure if we're going to see Gargano lose and then maybe Kross goes into a feud with Joe. I'm not sure if we're going to see Joe be the cause of Karrion Kross losing the NXT championship. If Kross is to lose the title next week, the best way to go about it is Karrion Kross gets locked in the Gargano escape and he passes out. That way he's protected. That's the best way if you want to take the title off of Kross next week, but I don't see Gargano winning. But if he does, I wouldn't be shocked. I truthfully don't know how this is going to end, but I can absolutely see Kross losing the title at the next TakeOver. To whom, I don't know. To whom, I don't know. But this was a great segment here. Really great back and forth by Kross and Gargano. Gargano and this new character that he's playing, it's great. And we'll see what happens next week. I truthfully don't know what's going to happen next week. We got L.A. Knight. He's got nothing on DJ Storms. We got L.A. Knight, who's excellent, by the way. He took on Danielle's favorite superstar, Cameron Grimes. Good old Cameron Grimes, because I'm going to win that $1 million title. And I'm going straight to the moon. Cameron Grimes. LA Knight and Cameron Grimes. This is for the $1 million championship. And let me tell you something. It's easy to pick out MSK and Ciampa and Thatcher. It's easy to pick out Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. But this was my personal match of the night. LA Knight and Cameron Grimes. This has been the best program. This has been the best program in NXT all year. And the thing that I love about this is the fact that I've always been a Cameron Grimes advocate. Ever since he showed up in the breakout tournament. I've always been a Cameron Grimes advocate. He's always been a great wrestler. The guy can have a great match with anyone. He's like, and I don't want to go too far, but he's like the hick version of Johnny Gargano. Every single individual that he stepped into the ring with, he's put on a great match with. Gargano, Matt Riddle, Dominic Dijakovic, Keith Lee, Dexter Lumis, Finn Balor, LA Knight. He's great. He's fantastic at what he does. But as a character, he was kind of a very lukewarm heel. Then he got a gimmick change. He became rich through GameStop. And then the $1 Million Man came in. And he's working with Cameron Grimes. And then LA Knight was kind of in the same boat as Cameron Grimes. He's great at what he does, but he was very lukewarm as a heel. Then they paired them together with the addition of Ted DiBiase, and it morphed into something great. It morphed into something special. And it's quite sad because I'm looking at these two guys, and these two have everything that they need to make it on the main roster. Cameron Grimes is witty. He's very charismatic. He's a great fucking performer. He's got a fantastic fucking theme song. He may have the best theme song in all of WWE right now. He's got a great fucking catchphrase that he started saying just to be annoying, and people are saying it along with him to the moon. They love him. The guy's got everything it takes to succeed on the main roster. Same thing with LA Knight. LA Knight, he knows how to play a fucking prick. He knows how to play a prick. He knows how to talk. He oozes charisma out of his ass. The guy's in phenomenal fucking shape. He's physically fucking fit. He looks like $1 million. He's a very good professional wrestler. He can carry himself like a guy that can carry the company. But all I see when I look at these two, LA Knight would be doing comedic segments with the fucking Miz and Morrison every other week. And Cameron Grimes, he'd be chasing around the 24/7 title within 2 months. And it's sad. These two, there's no reason why these two should fail on the main roster. And Triple H took nothing and made it into the best program on NXT. Cameron Grimes has become the biggest babyface in the company, and LA Knight has become a complete fucking dickhead because he attacked Ted DiBiase. And after this program is over, both of these individuals are going to be better off for it. This program's been fantastic. This program's been excellent. And this match was fucking great. If you didn't watch it, go out of your way and watch it. This was easily LA Knight's best match that I think I've ever seen since he came to NXT. This is a great match. So Grimes with the aggression right out of the gate. Nice crossbody for a 2. Grimes with a Superman form for a 2. A nice standing moonsault. LA Knight took over with a power slam. He was in control. Grimes came back with a beautiful fucking Spanish fly. Grimes then mounted a comeback with a beautiful fucking spinning side slam for a 2. Knight with a modified burning hammer. That got a 2 count. Grimes kicked out. Grimes was then caught on the top rope with a superplex for a very close 2. Knight took the title, but the referee yanked it out of his hands. Grimes nearly won it off a roll-up. We had a poison Rana by Cameron Grimes, spiking LA Knight right on the top of his head. Knight just kicked out. Knight then he got pulled out of the ring. He rolled out of the ring, and Cameron Grimes followed suit. Grimes then got tripped up on the apron, and then the $1 million title was just sitting right by the apron. And this is what I loved about this ending. This ending was great. A very, very crafty heel ending. It's easy to do a poke in the eye. It's easy to do a low blow. It's easy to do feet on the ropes. It's easy to do a roll up with a handful of trunks. It's easy to do that. But with what they did here, this was very creative. Very, very creative. LA Knight saw that the $1 million title was out of the referee's line of sight, and LA Knight DDT'd Cameron Grimes onto the championship. Brilliant fucking way. Brilliant fucking way to end this. The ref didn't see it. Ref counted, but Grimes just beat the count. Crowd was chanting to the moon. It didn't help Grimes much because he got hit with the BFT, and LA Knight wins the match. A great match with an excellent ending. It looks like LA Knight is going to have a new butler now. And I absolutely expect LA Knight to just treat Cameron Grimes like shit. And I actually expect Ted DiBiase to come back. He's going to come back and he's going to buy Cameron Grimes away from LA Knight. And we're going to get that big win for Cameron Grimes at TakeOver. This match was great. My personal match of the night. They introduced the competitors in the breakout tournament, the NXT breakout tournament. The competitors are as follows: Trey Baxter, Carmelo Hayes, Andre Chase, Josh Briggs, Ike Manjiro, Joe Gacy, Odyssey Jones, and Duke Hudson. Tournament begins next week with a match between Ike Manjiro and Duke Hudson. Next, we had Zoe Stark and Io Shirai versus Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. This was for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. I didn't really expect the titles to change, but they did change, and to be quite honest, I'm not really complaining because it saves Io Shirai from going up to the main roster and being buried by White Castle Pritchard. 50 White Castle sliders with a keg for a gut Pritchard. NXT Women's Tag Team Championship match was a decent match. The Way were in control before Stark eventually got the tag. LeRae and Shirai, they went at it. We had a nice 619 and a missile dropkick for a 2. Stark came in, hit a Shining Wizard for a 2. Shirai then missed the moonsault. We had a Gargano escape, but Stark tried to break it up, but she got locked in the silence by Indy Hartwell in tribute to Dexter Lumis. Nice spot there. LeRae then with a middle rope German suplex. Stark saved it. We had a spinning powerbomb by Hartwell, but Shirai just kicked out. Back and forth we go before the lights went out. And the charging battery was at 100%, and we had the spotlight go to the stage. Tegan Nox, the girl with the shiniest wizard, is back. Great to see her back. Well, not so great that she's on SmackDown, but still nice to see her back. The match continued. We had a back suplex go to sleep. Stark and Shirai win the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Decent match. Happy to see Tegan Nox back, and I'm happy to see that Io Shirai and Zoe Stark are the tag team champions, preventing Io Shirai from going up to the main roster. But Triple H ain't going to be able to hold on to Io Shirai forever. Nox then went after LeRae. Nox then sent LeRae out of the building. And it looks like they'll be going into a feud, but I don't expect that feud to last long because Tegan Nox is on SmackDown, apparently, with Shotzi Blackheart. But this was a decent match. And we had Stark and Shirai winning the NXT Women's Tag Team titles, and I can absolutely see them dropping them to Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter, who I adore them. I absolutely adore them, and I would actually love to see them win the Women's Tag Team titles down the line at some point. Hit Row. If you didn't know, now you know. They had an NXT North American Championship Cypher celebration. We had B-Fab with a nice rap. Top Dollar was next. Swerve was obviously the best one rapping out of all of them. They rapped their theme song, which actually sounded very good. Swerve, let me tell you something. Swerve looks like $1 million. Swerve looks like $1 million, and I really do hope that they continue to go all in on Swerve, and they continue to push Swerve as a big deal, because Swerve and this new Hit Row faction, great stuff. We had Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole, baby. This was the main event of the Great American Bash. Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole 2. This match, if you haven't watched it, go out of your way to watch it. This match was fantastic. This match was absolutely fantastic. And it absolutely deserved to main event the show. This was a WrestleMania main event, if I've ever seen one. So Cole fought back against Kyle O'Reilly to remain control with a neckbreaker on the floor. Cole continued to wear down O'Reilly before O'Reilly came back with some stiff strikes. We had some rolling butterfly suplexes and a DDT for a 2. Cole then kicked Kyle's knee out from under him, slammed it against the post. So that was the target. That was the target throughout the match here for Adam Cole. Back and forth we go. We had a double clothesline and both men were down. Cole then with a punt kick and a knee wrangler in the ropes. Kyle O'Reilly came back with a dragon screw. Cole with a running Shining Wizard for a very close 2 count. O'Reilly then with a Regal Plex for a 2. Back and forth submission holds were traded. Cole then locked in the figure 4. Excuse me. O'Reilly reversed it into a modified heel hook. Cole then made it to the ropes. O'Reilly hit axe and smash. Cole with an enziguri. O'Reilly with a PK, sending O'Reilly right to the floor. So O'Reilly took himself out to the floor. Cole then on the apron. Cole with a fucking Panama Sunrise on the fucking floor. He threw him back in the ring. Cole made the cover, but O'Reilly, he did not kick out. He got his foot on the ropes. So Cole with a super kick. O'Reilly with a rebound lariat and a brain buster. He went for the diving knee, but it missed. Cole with the last shot, but Kyle O'Reilly just kicked out. Cole then targeted the knee again. He hit a second Panama Sunrise and a second last shot, and Cole beat Kyle O'Reilly to tie the score up at 1 apiece. This was a fantastic match, but for anyone that is saying that Cole is safe, he's not safe. Cole is headed up to the main roster after the final matchup. We've seen this time and time again with Cole and Ciampa, Cole and Gargano and Cole, or Gargano and Ciampa rather. Whenever there's a big feud, it's always a trilogy. Kyle O'Reilly won the first match. Now Adam Cole won the second match. Now we're going to get a third match. That third match is going to take place at none other than the TakeOver, which is rumored to take place after SummerSlam on the 22nd. So at the end of the day, Cole, he's ultimately going to lose that because I don't see Kyle O'Reilly losing that, and he's going to get called up to the main roster. I'm just hoping that he doesn't get buried, but knowing the history of WWE, of course the guy's going to get fucking buried. I am not looking forward to seeing Adam Cole on the main roster. Just look at what they did to fucking Damian Priest. Damian Priest was feuding with fucking Miz and Morrison for 3.5 fucking months. So look at what they did to Dominic Dijakovic. He's going by the name of T-Balls. Adam Cole's time in NXT is almost up. It's almost up. But regardless of that, this was a fantastic show. Excellent show. Definitely the best show of the week. NXT really starting to get back on the right track, which I'm very, very happy about. We'll see how that favors after the WWE draft. Let's check the chat before we go on to AEW Road Rager. We got 14 concurrent viewers and 23 likes. We need more likes, people. We got 3 more shows to go over. We need more likes. If you guys are in the chat, please make sure you share out the stream. Share out the stream so that way we can get more likes, because I want to get some more likes right here. Let me see what else you guys can do for me. Share out the stream. Get as many people in here as possible because we got a lot to go over. We got a lot more to go over. So, Dylan Summers, what a shit week then for Cole. Loses his last match and gets sent down to the main roster. Tell me about it, Dylan. Tell me about it. 24 likes. That's what I like to see. Courtney Holland, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. And, no, Britt Baker is fantastic. Britt Baker is fantastic at what she does. You're boring. Get out of here. Wild Bear, 69. How you doing? How are you? Thank you for stopping by, Mr. Wild Bear, 69. You are fantastic. We got 3 more shows to go over, so why don't we get straight into the last 3 shows. We're going to talk about AEW Road Rager. Road Rager, which was an extremely fun show. Extremely fun show was Road Rager, and you know what I really liked about Road Rager? I really like the fact that AEW, they did a lot of promos and segments on Road Rager. It wasn't just wrestling heavy. Outside of the street fight, no match was really a blowaway match. And that's what I can appreciate. I like the fact that they didn't oversaturate the show with too much wrestling. And they really gave a lot of promo time to guys like Jericho, MJF, Ethan Page, Darby Allin. We had a segment with Omega and Page, which was great. So I like that. This was an extremely fun show. Cody Rhodes versus QT Marshall. This was a South Beach strap match. Decent match for what it was. Nothing too crazy. Cody went right after QT as the match began. Cody then whipped QT with the strap. Dustin Rhodes came out and he went after Solo. After Solo got involved. So it was one-on-one. QT with a German suplex while Cody was tied up in the strap. QT then hit the post. He was busted open. The lights went out for a minute. I thought that it was some technical issues, but oh no. Here was not technical issues at all. QT Marshall with an avalanche powerbomb off the middle rope. QT then hit the diamond cutter out of the corner. Cody hyped himself up. He shrugged off the strap blows. He mounted a comeback and he whipped QT with the strap. We had a big Cody cutter. QT then spit right in Cody's face. QT spit right in Cody's face. Cody then delivered 3 crossroads and touched all 4 corners for the win. Decent match. QT was not winning this match, nor should he have won this match. QT is not going anywhere, and we are setting up for Cody versus a certain somebody, which we will talk about a little bit later. Shawn Spears. He was in the back before Sammy Guevara laid him out with the chair. And Sammy Guevara goes, "This is far from over." So obviously, we have plenty more Pinnacle and Inner Circle matches to go around. Tony Schiavone, he was in the ring. He introduced Kenny, by God, Omega. Don Callis was with him. They made their way to the ring. Callis then took the mic and he goes, "Seems like a great time to give everyone a history lesson." Crowd chanted, "You got fired," at Callis, meaning he got fired from Impact Wrestling. Callis goes, "Real men don't quit, they get fired." So Callis ran down Kenny's accomplishments over the last 7 months. Callis then stated, "You're all in the shadow of the god of pro wrestling. But we have a problem. We've got nobody left. There's no one left for Kenny Omega to beat." Crowd chanted, "We want Hangman." And then out came the Dark Order. Evil Uno said, "I got a few questions for you. Take a step back. The men want to talk." So obviously he's talking about Don Callis there. "Why are you ignoring the crowd? Why are you ignoring the #1 competitor in AEW? And why are you ignoring my friend?" Crowd was chanting cowboy shit. Omega then asked what the capital of Thailand was. He low-blowed Evil Uno and goes, "It's Bangkok, baby." So that was fantastic. We got a big brawl. The Good Brothers came out. They took out the Dark Order. All of a sudden, Adam Hangman Page's music hit, and he came out. Crowd went fucking insane. He took out the Good Brothers, and he had a face-off with Kenny. Crowd was going fucking nuts. Kenny ended up running off, and that was that. This was fucking excellent. This was excellent fucking stuff. Loved every minute of it, and things are really starting to heat up, and I'm really liking what they're doing with Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page, and the match at All Out, it's going to be great. Darby Allin versus Ethan Page. That coffin match is set for next week. They had a sit-down interview. Darby was going on about how he dropped everything to make it to AEW, and he called Ethan Page complacent, saying he got married and he had kids. I made it to AEW before you did, and you couldn't stand it. Paige then goes, he's right. He didn't say a single lie. I brought you into this business. I brought you up, and I made you. I gave you the rub of being with someone with 12 years of experience at the time. He goes, I gotta watch this little runt paint his face and run around. Thank you for not touching me. And next week I'll see you in the coffin match, and I'm going to take you out of this business. This was some fantastic material right here. Loving what Ethan Page is doing. Loving what Darby Allin has been doing. And, they got Fight for the Fallen coming up. If Omega needs to defend the title, I would absolutely do Omega versus Ethan Page for the title. I think that would be good. No, not Ethan Page. Darby Allin, rather. Darby Allin and Omega for the championship. I apologize. That could be Omega's bridge to get to Hangman. Plus, it would give Darby the rub. We had the Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle. Fast-paced match. Really like what they did here. Really, really, really good stuff here. Inner Circle was in control early before the Pinnacle took over. Santana was isolated. He made the tag to Ortiz. Hager with a big slam. Wardlow then saved the match. Hager and Wardlow, then they got into it. And we had these two guys squaring off. They went back and forth before FTR came in behind the ref's back. They hit the big rig, and they had Wardlow cover Hager, and the Pinnacle get the win. Right outcome. Very happy to see that the Pinnacle is getting a really, 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 really big push here, and they are pushing them as a top faction. Really liking what they're doing there. Afterwards, Conan came in with the Mad Ball before the Pinnacle took him out. Tully specifically took him out with a chop block. Next week, we got a big match with Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley is making his return, and he's taking on Carl Anderson. This is for the IWGP United States Championship. Very, 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 very interested to see how that goes. MJF and Jericho, they had their face-off. They had a table set up in the ring. The fans were singing Judas. All of a sudden, some 700-pound sweat hog, who, by the way, is a fucking loser, by the way, some 700-pound sweat hog decided to jump the barricade, and he actually got punched by Jericho. And MJF, he was playing it up. Very, very professional of MJF. He was saying, cut it, cut it, cut it. Very, very professional of MJF. I really hope that this hairy fucking slob tries to do that again. And next time, I hope that Jericho breaks his face wide open. So this hairy, sweaty, stinky asshole who hasn't showered in about 3 weeks, guy that smells like barbecue sauce and weed, he decided to jump the barricade. So hopefully that guy got what he deserved. Hopefully they press charges against him and they put that fucker behind bars for good, because the guy is a fucking loser. The guy's a fucking loser, and he should not have the proper rights to life that us normal human beings have. So Chris was called pathetic by MJF. He went on and on about how Jericho's attempt to get another match with him is sad. Chris said, I should have let that fat bastard come in here and beat your ass. But I'm Chris Jericho, and I'll accept any stipulation. I'll swim with piranhas. I'll stand in front of a Mack truck. I'll even have sex with your mother. Again. So that was great. MJF said, I'm not going to get rattled. I used to look up to you, man. I followed every step of your career. even your rivalry with Jon Moxley. Do you remember what happened when Jon Moxley was in a feud with you? You made him wrestle each and every single member of the Inner Circle. So I decided to take your blueprint and make it better. You know, demigod is the word that birthed Demogod, which is your nickname, which is kind of ironic because you're no longer in the key demo. But I grew up loving Greek mythology, and my favorite story was the labors of Hercules. And you're going to have 5 labors, Chris. 5 labors. 4 matches with different stipulations, and if you pass them, then you get a 5th stipulation. And if you win, you get the MJF rub. Jericho then accepted. He said that he is the god of battle, the god of thunder, and the god of war, and I'm going to beat you and ruin your life the way that you tried to ruin mine, and that ain't no mythology. So MJF said, shake my hand or the deal's off. Jericho then did it, but he did not let go of MJF's hand, and he gave MJF the Judas effect. This was absolutely the best segment of the night. MJF and Jericho are fucking golden, and I cannot wait to see how this turns out. This is going to be a great blow-off match between MJF and Chris Jericho. Matt Sydal, or Matt Something. Matt Something versus Andrade El Idolo. Sydal and Mr. Andrade El Idolo, they went move for move at the start of this match. He looks great, by the way. He looks fantastic. So, Andrade, he didn't miss a beat in this match. He was fantastic. He did his normal moonsault. He did his normal moonsault shit. So, Andrade, he came back with a huge lariat on Sydal. Sydal turned inside out. Sydal got hung up on the buckle. Sydal dodged the Tree of Woe foot stomp. Sydal then with a Meteora for a close 2. Andrade then with the double knees and a hammerlock flatliner. He calls it El Idolo for the win. Very good match for what it was. Not bad whatsoever. And this was a great way to introduce Andrade to the fan base. This is a great way to introduce Andrade to the fan base. Andrade is fantastic at what he does. One of the best pro wrestlers on the planet right now. Very happy that he is in AEW. And he didn't give away all that he can do. And why would he? It's only his first match. So it's good that they did not give away everything that he can do in his first match. As time goes on, we're going to see more and more of what Andrade El Idolo is really capable of. So afterwards, he wrenched Sydal's arm in the belt. Andrade, fucking fantastic. Andrade is going to be a major player. If I was Tony Khan, I would give that guy a championship within the next 7 months. This guy needs to be a fucking champion ASAP. He is fucking great. Courtney, I don't know what you're smoking, but Andrade is fantastic. He is great in the ring. He looks fantastic. He is excellent. Courtney, you may need to check yourself, because if you're telling me that you don't like Andrade, I don't think you're a wrestling fan at all. Matt Hardy versus Christian Cage. That is set for next week. So we're going to see how that pans out. Now, on to the one thing that broke the internet. Arn Anderson was in the ring. All of a sudden, the lights go out. And all of a sudden, Tommy End appears in the ring, delivers a fucking black mass to Arn Anderson. Cody then comes out, black mass to Cody. The crowd is going fucking nuts. What a fucking moment. What a fucking moment. This was absolutely fucking fantastic. And Malachi Black is all elite, and his first big feud is with Cody. Man, it is going to be a big fucking moment for him at All Out. Now you got Andrade in there, you got Malachi Black in there. It is fucking big, I tell you. We got the mixed tag team match. We got the Blade and the Bunny. They took on Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander. This was a fun little match for what it was. Statlander with a very nice vertical suplex for the Bunny. Bunny, she took over thanks to a distraction from the Blade. Coming back from commercial, the Bunny with a German suplex off the ropes. Blade came in. Cassidy came in. We had a satellite DDT for a 2. Statlander came in, and she hit a beautiful 450 splash on the Blade. The Bunny and Cassidy then faced off. The Blade then hit the brass knucks, but Statlander made the tag. The Blade didn't see it. Statlander sent the Bunny into the Blade. Blade got taken out. Statlander with the Big Bang Theory for the win. And Statlander gets the win, rightfully so. And it looks like she is going to be a top contender for Britt Baker. And she could very well take the title off of Britt Baker. You never know. You never know. But this was a fun little match for what it was. Orange Cassidy. Very interested to see where Orange Cassidy goes. I actually hope to see Orange Cassidy take on Miro for the TNT Championship. I think that would be great. Orange Cassidy, he should absolutely be a future TNT champion down the line. That would be great. So, this was a fun little match. And Chris Statlander is still undefeated. Great stuff. We had a guy named Dan Lambert. He went into the ring and he was shitting all over AEW. And afterwards, Lance Archer then came out, and this was great. David Lambert shitting all over AEW. Lance Archer came out and gave him the blackout. So, Dan Lambert and Lance Archer, they had their own little Kane and Pete Rose moment. Very, very funny right there. Next week, we got a lot of good matches. We got an IWGP US title match. We got Ethan Page, Darby in the Coffin match. Penelope Ford and Yuka Sakazaki. And then we got Brian Cage and Ricky Starks for the FTW World Championship. Good shit. Good shit. And I hope that Andrade, we definitely see a good feud for Andrade. But who should Andrade face first? If I was going to go with this, I would absolutely put Andrade in a feud with Christian Cage. If you're going to keep Christian Cage a babyface, you could have Christian Cage as a babyface, and you can have Andrade defeat Christian Cage on his route to potentially winning the TNT Championship. I like it. Penta El Cero Miedo, and Eddie Kingston versus the Young Bucks. This was a street fight for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. This was fucking crazy. If you didn't watch this, go out of your way to watch it. All over the fucking place. Crazy fucking shit. So, fight started out pretty quickly. Bucks were on the receiving end of a lot of offense. Penta with a diving drop kick to the chair, right into Nick Jackson's ass. We had Kingston and Penta bringing out tables. Kingston powerbombed. He got powerbombed on an open table. And meanwhile, Penta with a fucking destroyer to Matt off the apron threw another table on the fucking floor. Fucking unreal. Nick and Eddie went back and forth, coming back from commercial. Nick with a swanton onto a trash can, onto Eddie for a 2. Penta came in with some swift double team action. Matt Jackson with a Northern Light suplex to Penta. Kingston with a rear naked choke before Nick hit a 450 onto the ref to stop Matt from losing. Matt ended up tapping out, but the ref got knocked out by a 450, so that was great. So, Good Brothers then came out before Penta took them out with a Tope Con Hero. Kazarian then with a powerbomb to Cutler through the table. We had a Fear Factor and a back fist, but there was no ref. Matt was saved by Nick pulling another ref out of the ring. Kazarian, the Elite Hunter, was out after he powerbombed Brandon Cutler through a table. He caught a Magic Killer by the Good Brothers. Kingston then brought out the thumbtacks. Matt Jackson, he got taken out by Penta. Nick with a fucking top rope Hurricane Rana. And he sent Penta right into the thumbtacks. Kingston saved it. The Young Bucks, like the savages that they are, put thumbtacks in Kingston's mouth and super kicked Kingston for the 1, 2, 3. Fucking crazy. If you didn't watch it, go out of your way and watch it. Absolutely fucking amazing. Amazing. Fucking amazing. Dynamite, Road Rager, very fun show. I cannot wait for Fyter Fest night 1 and 2. It's going to be damn fucking good. It's going to be damn good. Courtney, I'm sorry. I think something may be wrong with you, because if you're telling me you never liked Andrade, how can you not like? How can you like a great fucking wrestler like Andrade? Andrade's pretty much the Mexican Kenny Omega. I don't even know how you can't like him. But Cool King, trust me, I know that. Hula Grim, you should fucking roast that fat bastard that follows you. I mean, that fat ass, he's up late at night watching anime porn, and he's got cookie crumbs. He's got cookie crumbs and barbecue sauce all over his t-shirt. And no, fuck the McGregor fight. Who watches MMA? MMA sucks. Who watches MMA? Andrade, yes, Andrade could very well be considered better than Omega. But, we got a lot more to discuss, but Road Rager was a very, very, very fun show. It's not your cup of tea. What is your cup of tea? Boring wrestling? So, what else we got? Brad Hilborn, I'm not sure if he's still here, but I would assume that Peanuts is still here. David Maniscalco is still here. Wild Bear 69, he's still here. He's been to prison a number of times. I ain't saying shit to him. Well, yeah, of course he's been to prison a number of times. He should be in prison for life. I roasted him. That's what I did. I roasted him. You want me? I roasted this fucking loser. Let me show you where I roasted him. Let me see. I roasted this fat ass. One second. I'm trying to find it. I'm going to find it for you right here. I said to him, your opinion on a wrestling product doesn't excuse your shit behavior. Talk all you want, but there is no justification for jumping the barricade while trained professionals are putting on a show for our entertainment. You're lucky Jericho didn't break your face wide open. And this fat bastard is going to absolutely wallow in a pit of his own fucking misery. Dylan Summers. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for sharing out the stream. I greatly appreciate you. Let's talk about some NXT UK, shall we? Because NXT UK, we have a lot of interesting material set up for NXT UK. So Nathan Fraser versus Kenny Williams, that kicked off the show. This was a very good match for what it was right here. I'm liking the Kenny Williams heel turn. I'm liking Nathan Fraser. So, Nathan Fraser was in control early with a nice tope con hero. Just clipped Williams. Williams then went after the leg of Nathan Fraser. He kept the pressure on Fraser. Fraser came back with a suplex neckbreaker. He mounted a comeback. He did a springboard single leg drop kick for a 2. Williams then with a wheelbarrow facebuster for a close 2 count. Fraser with the Eye of the Hurricane. Fraser and Williams were then on the apron. Williams then exposed the bracket that connected the post and the turnbuckle. So it was a steel rod that connected the post and the turnbuckle, and he exposed it. And he rammed Nathan Fraser's head right into it. And he delivered a headlock driver for the win on Mr. Nathan Fraser. And Kenny Williams beats Nathan Fraser. I can absolutely see Kenny Williams as a guy that could potentially take the NXT UK Heritage Cup off of Tyler Bate if they want to go that route. So that was a very good match. We then had Mark Andrews versus Lewis Howley of Pretty Deadly. This was a good match, but this was typical WWE shit. Typical WWE shit with WWE constantly making their champions lose. Constantly making their champions lose in non-title matches. What the fuck else is new? But this was still a good match. I just fucking hate the fact that we are watching champions lose on television so often in the WWE. Andrews was in control early. He had a nice tope suicida. Lewis Howley took over with a nice leg drop for a 2. We had a tilt-a-whirl crossbody by Mark Andrews. Tornado DDT by Andrews. Swift Enziguri and a sunset flip powerbomb for a 2. We had Subculture taking out Sam Stoker. We had a Stun Dog Millionaire and Fall to Pieces. And Mark Andrews gets the win over Lewis Howley. And it looks like Subculture will be getting a tag team title opportunity, which I don't mind because I think that they're fantastic. And if anything, I would give the titles to Subculture. Laura DiMatteo versus Blair Davenport. Now, if you don't know who Blair Davenport is, she is known as Bea Priestley. So Bea Priestley, she signed with NXT UK. I got no problem with that because Bea Priestley adds to a division in NXT UK that has Kaylee Ray, that has Jinny, that has Eva Valkyrie, that has Meiko Satomura, that has Danny Luna, that has Zaya Brookside. They got a lot of great fucking talent up in the UK in the women's division. So adding Blair Davenport, that right there, that just adds to an already stacked women's division. I like that. So Blair Davenport, a.k.a. Bea Priestley, made her debut in NXT UK, and she looks great. She looks great. Davenport wins with a ripcord knee strike. She looked good. She took the mic and she goes, "I've heard this is the best women's division on the planet, and I'm putting all of you on notice. None of you have seen anyone that wrestles like Blair Davenport." So I'm very, 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 very much looking forward to seeing what happens with Blair Davenport in NXT. Whoever, if anything, we could potentially see Blair Davenport take the title off of fucking Meiko Satomura. Who knows? I think it's going to be damn good. It's going to be damn good. Tio Man and Rohan Raja, which was actually a very good segment. I actually didn't mind this. Let me tell you something. I was not keen on Tio Man because he just didn't have the look that excited me. And I didn't feel as though he was going anywhere. But the guy's a damn good pro wrestler. And the fact that he's being paired with Rohan Raja, that adds another tag team into the division. I got no issue with that. And this was a very nice segment. They were at a table. Tio Man goes, "Family means everything. Family is loyalty." Rohan Raja then thanked Tio Man for looking out for him and his family. Tio Man said, "Next week we take on Oliver and Ashton. And now this is your time to protect our family." Rohan Raja then pledged his loyalty to Tio Man. Walter, the Ring General. Walter versus Ilya Dragunov for the NXT UK Championship was made in 2 weeks. And let me tell you something right now. If this is the case, you got to give the win to Dragunov. You can't keep on letting this shit slide. If you're doing Walter and Dragunov, you got to give Dragunov the win. I'm sorry, Walter can't stay champion forever. If Walter is fighting Dragunov, this is your time to pull the trigger on Dragunov. If Dragunov doesn't win, you're going to have a very big problem, and you're going to have a very hard time building up someone that was as legit as Dragunov was built up. So that match is in 2 weeks. I expect Dragunov to win. Trent Seven. He took on Eddie Dennis in the main event. Started out very, very fast-paced. Dennis took over. We had a spinning side slam. That got a 2 count. This wasn't a bad match whatsoever. This was very good. 7, he came back with a DDT. Dennis with a modified lifting Uranagi for a 2. We had Trent Seven delivering the Emerald Frozen for a 2. We had a Razor's Edge by Dennis and another one into the buckle. Dennis then with another lariat. Both men were down. Back and forth we go before Dennis got hit with the 7 Stars lariat for a close 2 count. Symbiosis, T-Bone and Primate then came out. 7 then with a top rope Emerald Frozen. T-Bone then put Dennis's foot on the ropes. 7 then took out Symbiosis and he hit the Birmingham Hammer for the 1, 2, 3. Hula Grim, to answer your question, yes, I watch every fucking wrestling show during the week, minus Impact Wrestling. So this was a very good match. Afterwards, Symbiosis then attacked. Bait then came out to aid 7, and they took out Symbiosis and stood tall. Bait then came out, and he used nunchucks against Primate. Jackie Chan style. Not sure what they were going for there, but God bless Tyler Bate. He's entertaining. Decent show for NXT UK. I expect Ilya Dragunov to beat Walter in 2 weeks. If he doesn't, we're going to have a problem. So, we got I Am a Madman. I've always been a mad. I used to watch AEW Dark and 205 Live as well, but I had to cut them out because they aren't really doing much on those shows. I had to cut those out. I'd like to hope that they start actually doing AEW Dark and Elevation, and they just do 4 to 5 matches on the show. That's the proper way to go about it. So we are going to go over SmackDown. SmackDown, I don't want to say that this was a bad show, because it wasn't a terrible show, but holy shit, the booking on this show and the plot holes and the logic gaps on this show, it just really pisses me off. I really can't describe how much the logic gaps and the plot holes and just the complete lack of care just pisses me off. I can't even begin to tell you how it pisses me off. So, Jimmy Uso, he was the first person we saw. Completely fucking ridiculous that WWE, they value a fucking storyline over someone's health. I'm not really going to get into that, but Jimmy Uso, the guy needs fucking help. He should not be on television. Heyman told Jimmy that Roman was busy. Roman was by Gorilla. Him and Heyman made their way to the ring. And Roman goes, I know a lot of you didn't like that I wasn't present last week. But there are a lot of things that I didn't like last week either. So obviously that was a shoot on Jimmy. But the one thing I hate is a liar like Edge. In our main event, maybe for like 10, 20 seconds, there may have been a little fear. But that propelled me, and what did I do? I smashed him, I stacked him, and I pinned him, and we got a best-selling shirt. Don't say you're in my head. I got so much going on that I wasn't thinking about you. And if we're talking about family, we ought to handle some business. So Jimmy Uso then came out, and he goes, why do you think I got in Edge's face? I did it for us. Roman goes, first off, when did I say to start making decisions for us? And then he goes, secondly, I was doing your job last week. Jey Uso then came out. He is officially back. He goes, I'm back for all of us. The right-hand man is back. And I got your back, Goose. And let's work through these hard times and become the 7-time tag team champions. Roman goes, that's how we do it. The way we do it is together, and ain't nobody will touch us if we do it my way. And they all embraced, and that was it. They all embraced in a group hug, and that was pretty much it. Not a bad segment, but I'm sorry. The whole Jimmy Uso thing, it's still fresh in everyone's mind. This man should not be on television, and the fact that they are pushing him still in this role is very, 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 very poor. It's very, very poor. It fucking sucks that you're pretty much in a position where you legitimately don't care. And I really hate that WWE... I've said it before. I fucking hate that WWE treats their talent as if they're just money-making props. And they don't care about what's going on in their personal life, whether they kill someone or not. It's fucking ridiculous. So we had a Money in the Bank qualifying match. We had Baron Corbin, who's apparently going to be going by Happy Corbin soon. He took on Shinsuke Nakamura. What is this? Their like 6th fucking match in a month and a half? This was a Money in the Bank qualifying match. This was a decent match. Big E came out. He invited Pat McAfee to sit on the couch, and they were getting foot pedicures. So Nakamura and Rick Boogs, they got Corbin's Mercedes. And it was shown on the Titantron. Boogs, he did his normal shit. He goes, please welcome King Nakamura. That was normal. His normal high-pitched metal voice screaming. He played Nakamura in on the guitar. Always great to see. Corbin, he was on the offense. Nakamura came back with a single leg dropkick. Corbin then with a single leg crab. Corbin then hit a German suplex for a 2. Corbin then struck Rick Boogs and then delivered a suplex to Nakamura on the table. Coming back from commercial, Nakamura hit a spinning heel kick, and then Baron Corbin hit a deep 6 for a close 2 count. Nakamura then locked in the triangle choke, and then Baron Corbin got his foot on the rope. Corbin then, with a huge lariat, Nakamura turned inside out. Nakamura then hit a series of knees, and then he hit the Kinshasa to qualify for Money in the Bank, as he should. Pay attention here, because I'm about to give you gold. I'm about to give you gold. Your Money in the Bank winner is not Drew McIntyre. It's not Seth Rollins. It's not Johnny Drip Drip. It's not Big E. Your Money in the Bank ladder match winner is Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura wins. Shinsuke Nakamura wins the Money in the Bank ladder match. Then, he teases a cash-in on both Raw and SmackDown. He keeps teasing for months. Roman gets pissed. Roman gets pissed that Nakamura will not acknowledge him as the cash-in. So Roman faces Nakamura in the ring and he goes, acknowledge me as your cash-in. Nakamura doesn't listen. Nakamura don't listen. What does Roman do? He beats down Nakamura so brutally and so decisively that he is not seen for months. Then, Roman Reigns goes into WrestleMania to fight The Rock, as rumored. He beats The Rock. Beats The Rock in a competitive match out of nowhere. Nakamura returns. Nakamura returns to a thunderous fucking ovation. Nakamura cashes in his Money in the Bank contract on Roman. And Nakamura becomes the Universal Champion at WrestleMania 38. And he gets the moment that he should have gotten at WrestleMania 34. with AJ Styles for the WWE title. Vince, pay me, you old bastard. Pay me. I gave you gold. That is how you do it. The winner is Shinsuke Nakamura, and that's how you do it. The only other individual that should be even in the conversation to win Money in the Bank outside of Shinsuke is Ricochet. Big E, yeah, I understand why Big E, but that would be way too obvious. It would be way too obvious to have Big E win after Bobby took out Woods and Bobby's going to take out Kofi. You can move Big E over to Raw and have him beat Lashley in a one-on-one match without the Money in the Bank briefcase. Nakamura is your Money in the Bank briefcase winner. Natalya and Tamina, they took on a mystery team. They cut a promo before the match. So the team was Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox. They were going by Shotzi and Nox. They win in 4 minutes with a senton. She calls it the ball pit. Here's what I don't understand. Tegan Nox just came back. She just came back, right? She just came back. She's in a feud with Candice LeRae. Shotzi Blackheart, wasn't she in a fucking tag team with, I don't know, Ember Moon? Weren't they a tag team? Why are these two a tag team? Why did you just call these two individuals up at random? And don't give me the fucking excuse of, they need bodies because Bayley went out with injury and the women's division is depleted. Whose fault is that? I don't give a shit if your women's division is depleted. You call these women up with no vignettes, no advertisements, no hype, and you put them against the tag team champions, and they beat the tag team champions. Typical WWE shit. This tag team doesn't even make any sense. Both of these women were in separate storylines on NXT. And it just goes to show you that Vince McMahon doesn't give a flying fuck about any type of logic. And Bruce Pritchard doesn't care either. Neither does Mr. John Laurinaitis. My name is Mr. John Laurinaitis. I am the Executive Vice President of Talent Relations and the creator of the greatest concept in pro wrestling history, and that is people power. They beat the champions. Now what? Unless they win the fucking titles, this was a fucking waste, and you pretty much ruined them. And even then, even if they win the tag team titles, it's not like it's going to mean anything anyway, because the women tag team titles are worth just about as much as horse shit. This should have been burnt in a furnace a long time ago. Get rid of the women's tag team titles. Shotzi, Blackheart, and Tegan Nox. They're a tag team for no fucking reason whatsoever. No vignettes. No advertisements. No packages to hype them up. They just put them on SmackDown because, we need women. Unfucking real. How about you get rid of the fucking women's tag team titles? Sonya Deville. Still, I don't know why she was even given a WWE official role or why she's even back. She got ready to announce Bianca Belair's replacement. She announced Bayley's injury. She said Bianca will not defend the title at Money in the Bank, but rather she will defend the title next week in front of a live audience. I appreciate that they took Bianca's match off the pay-per-view because realistically, pay-per-views should only be for the important matches, and a match like Bianca and her opponent being announced as Carmella, it doesn't have any build. Now, even though this should have been Bianca's opponent, Carmella hasn't been doing jack shit. She's been losing matches left and right. Carmella does nothing, but she gets a women's championship opportunity for nothing. Should be a decent match, but still, nothing. Carmella then came out. Carmella says, I get it, you're mad. Sonya, thank you for this match. And thank you for this much-deserved honor. Liv Morgan then came out. She was legitimately pissed again. Sonya got pissed and said, Liv, you're going to be replacing Carmella in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Liv then announced that she hopes that Carmella wins because she's going to be cashing in on her. Bianca Belair came out and she said that she'll be seeing Carmella next week. If I am booking this, I am booking Liv Morgan to win Money in the Bank. Is she going to win? Probably not. Why? Because that would be the right thing to do. And when it comes to WWE, when has WWE ever done the right thing willingly? Match makes no fucking sense. It pissed me off. Just like Tegan Nox and Shotzi Blackheart being called up out of nowhere. Pissed me the fuck off. Liv Morgan should be your Money in the Bank contract ladder match winner. Bianca Belair is not losing the title to Carmella. It is merely an interim match before she gets to Sasha at SummerSlam. We had a promo package for Toni Storm saying that she's coming to SmackDown. I like it. I like that. I want to be a little bit more excited, but I know what awaits Toni Storm. Here's what I want to know. You couldn't have done this with Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox? You couldn't have done... Why is it that Toni Storm got the advertisement in the promo package, but Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox did not? I don't fucking understand. Here's what I will say. If Toni Storm is not positioned to be the women's champion on SmackDown within the next year, everyone on management is to be fired on the spot. Toni Storm should be positioned to be the SmackDown Women's Champion within the next year. I would give the Money in the Bank contract to Liv. If you want to build 2 new stars within 8 months, here's what you do. Give the fucking Money in the Bank contract to Liv Morgan. Give Liv Morgan the opportunity. Have Liv Morgan cash in on Bianca in the fall. Give Liv Morgan the title. Make a new star right there. Then position Toni Storm to win the Women's Royal Rumble and face Liv Morgan at WrestleMania with Toni Storm winning the title. You want to build 2 new stars right there? That's how you do it. Liv Morgan wins the Money in the Bank ladder match and beats Bianca. Toni Storm wins the Women's Royal Rumble. Simple. Simple. Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. Money in the Bank qualifying match. Another rematch. But this was a great fucking match, I will say. This was a great fucking match. So, they work insanely well together. Rollins sent Cesaro into the announce table. Rollins was in control. He wore down Cesaro. Cesaro came back with some uppercuts and a big modified slam for a 2. Rollins with a superplex. He rolled through, but Cesaro muscled him up into a suplex over the top rope to the floor. Landing looked nasty. Coming back from a second commercial, shit started to pick up. Cesaro with the swing and the sharpshooter. Rollins fought out of it. Cesaro with a big uppercut for a 2. Rollins inadvertently ripped the turnbuckle pad off. Rollins with a forearm to the face. Rollins then sent Cesaro into the exposed turnbuckle. Couple of ropes, but Cesaro kicked out. Cesaro was actually busted open. And this is actually what I liked. I like that, in a sense, they kind of protected Cesaro and they kind of made Cesaro look strong in defeat. So, Rollins with a forearm to the face. Rollins sent Cesaro to the floor. The ref began the count, but Cesaro kept on getting back up. He kept on fighting. Cesaro was bleeding like a stuck pig. Rollins then with a DDT on the ramp. The ref counted, but Cesaro just beat the count. Back and forth we go before Rollins eventually hit the stomp, and Rollins is going to Money in the Bank. Great fucking match. Match of the night, and Rollins should not be winning Money in the Bank. The Usos went into Edge's locker room, but Edge was not there. Instead, Edge interrupted an interview with Rollins. So that's a nice little tease for the Edge versus Rollins program at SummerSlam. Bianca Belair, Carmella, SmackDown Women's titles announced for next week. Big E versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. That is a Fatal 4-Way announced for next week. Should be damn good. Edge came to the ring. He congratulated Roman on reuniting his family. And he goes, I don't care how many minions Roman has. I'm going to take the Universal Championship. Your eyes scream fear, and I feed off of fear. And right here, I'm calling you out. Get your ass out here right now. Roman then tells the Usos to stay back. He was going to handle it. Roman then came out, but Jimmy and Jay followed suit. Roman's then told his cousins that he was going to handle it, so his cousins disobeyed him. Roman and Edge then started to brawl. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, the Mysterios came back. They attacked the Usos while Edge attacked Roman. Edge then planted Roman with a DDT before Jimmy and Jay came in to make the save. The Mysterios came in. Dominic hit a double 619. Edge hit a spear on Jay. Roman watched from the ramp as Edge took a chair piece and locked in the crossface repeatedly on both Jay and Jimmy. Edge sending a message to Roman Reigns, and that was how SmackDown went off the air. Not a bad show. Not a terrible show, but the logic on the show, it really just pisses me off. And the more illogical shit that we see, the more pissed off I get. And it's really starting to get under my skin, and it's really starting to get on my nerves. But that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. Thank you every single one of you who stopped by. Blaced Radio, Danielle Wolf, Danielle XOXO, a.k.a. Dee. Thank you, Hula Grim. Thank you, Brad Hilborn. Thank you, Cool King. Thank you, Courtney Holland. Thank you, Shane McMahon, David Maniscalco, Peanuts, Wild Bear 69. Thank you very much for stopping by. It was a great stream as per usual. Thank you, Mr. Rob Wells Jr. If you are interested in coming on the rundown for Money in the Bank, please let me know, and we can set up a date on Thursday to record, because it would be premiering on Friday, and hey, we would be doing it on my 4-year anniversary. Hula Grim, I may get you on the channel too. I'd love to get you on the channel sometime as well. But that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please make sure you check out all the links in the description. Check out the interview on House of X Entertainment channel with yours truly, where I really took a break. I really took a break from this crazy-ass gimmick that I portray and talking about wrestling, and I really was down to earth. I was myself. I really had a lot of fun talking to Leo and Wanston, so check that out. Follow me on all platforms of social media. Like, comment, subscribe. I got the rundown for WWE Money in the Bank 2021 coming to you next Friday. LFU next Friday as well. And, of course, on July 22nd, big news. Top Rope Squishy, I'm back on her channel, and we're going to be going over Night 2 of AEW Fyter Fest. Do not miss it. It's going to be damn good. Thank you all, and I will catch you later. Peace.